Hello and welcome to ACS Golf and this week's review where I'm looking at this, the Qi10 fairway wood from last year, so 2024. Now if you're watching this video when it comes out, then the Qi35 won't be out just yet, but you can pre-order it right now. If you're watching this later in the year, then the Qi35 will be out. And because the Qi35 is literally around the corner, it means that the price of this has dropped brand new. So potentially you could pick yourself up an absolute bargain and get a very modern and very good fairway wood for cheaper than buying the brand new model, which is obviously Qi35 this year, if you're looking at Taylormade. So what I'm going to do, as always, we'll have a closer look at this club, then we'll come back here for all the technology that's in it, then we'll go down to the range, and then I'll come back here for the ACS Golf Scale and give you my overall thoughts about this club. And I'll let you know that yes, potentially this is a bargain if you're going brand new, but there are other options out there that you can save even more money. And when I go through the ACS Golf Scale at the end, I'll give you the results of the Stealth 2 that I also reviewed last year to the fairway wood. We'll just basically show you the differences between the two, which might make you think we're spending still quite a bit of money on this over the previous year model to this one, which was the Stealth 2. But anyway, without further ado, actually before we have a closer look at this club, if you're new to the channel, do remember to hit that subscription button and the bell icon if you enjoy this video so you do not miss out on weekly ACS golf reviews and more. If you're a returning viewer and you haven't yet hit that subscription button, do remember it is free to do so. It'd be great for the subscription numbers to go up, which means I'll be able to give you even more content in the future. But in the meantime, if you're a returning viewer, hello, welcome back. Anyway, now let's get on with the video and let's have a closer look at, well, I'm not going to lie, pretty good looking fairway wood. So there you go, a pretty good looking fairway wood. I reviewed the Qi10 driver last year when it first came out, and even though it's a very good driver, as you'd expect from Taylormade, I didn't like the looks of it. I just didn't like the looks of the new Qi10 driver. The Qi35 though, however, I don't know if you've seen them so far, but they look amazing. But with the fairway wood, it's a little bit of a different story. I do like the look of the fairway wood. I think it's a very smart looking fairway wood. And the head cover, that is just an awesome head cover. Look at that, just great, absolutely great. Such a good head cover. I'm actually gaming the Qi10 hybrid, and it's got the same head cover, obviously just smaller. And I love it, absolutely love it. That review will come out in the next couple of weeks when I have time to get to it, because I have, as you can see, a lot to get through for the channel. Now, let's get into the technology that is in this club. So, the Qi10 Golf Fairway Wood, complete performance with optimum distance. What I will just quickly say before I get further into it, there were three versions of this. I have just here the normal Qi10, which is sort of the standard model. You have the Qi10 Max, which is a more forgiving model, and probably a little bit of draw bias in there as well. And then you had the Qi10 Tour, which was basically the Stealth 2 Plus, that movable weight at the back for ultimate workability and distance. So this is definitely sort of the middle ground. This is the club that will be basically for the majority of your players out there, including myself. As much as I'd love to put a tour in the bag, definitely need a little bit more forgiveness with that 8 handicap. So talking myself into getting a Qi10 tour now. Anyway, let's move on. So yeah, so middle ground one. Now let's get into all of it. So complete performance, as I mentioned, with optimum distance. So the Taylormade Qi10 fairway wood modern head shape provides a framework for the perfect blend of our tour-proven performance and versatility with ease of use for all levels of golfers. And don't get me wrong, as I mentioned, there is a tour version out there, but a lot of, your tour pros would have this in the bag, they'd have it in as a 5 wood or even maybe a 7 wood, maybe keep that tour just for the top end of the bag, that 3 wood, or even have this in there, even your PJ pros, you know, need forgiveness. They understand the quality of forgiveness. So, yeah. Don't know where I was going with that, but anyway, yeah. So for all golfers, there you go. All golfers, PJ pros, amateur. There you go. Anyway, so lower CG projection aids in creating a fairway that is easy to launch, provides additional forgiveness, and creates a platform for incredible distance. Mid-face height is engineered for versatility with easy launch and even the tightest lies with the confidence off the tee. There you go. There's the face, by the way. The new Infinity Crown. So it's a crown that goes all over the face. Not a huge fan of Infinity Crowns. Personally think, you know, if you're an average golfer or high handicapper, you know, these Infinity Crowns, if you suddenly sky it, you know, they can scuff up pretty quickly. Especially with a fairway wood, which, let's be honest, if you're hitting off the deck, can be quite difficult if you're a beginner golfer. So I always prefer when you sort of crown's a little bit further back and you know, you have a sort of a little bit of protection. It's not necessarily glossy there. So if you do sky it, you don't necessarily show it up as much. I mean, I've definitely skied a few balls last year with my fairway wood. So yeah, but so not a huge fan of it, but I know a lot of people who do like it. So the new Infinity Carbon Crown and sleek hosel design frees up mass for optimal weight distribution and lower CG to deliver longer distance. There's also a reason there, you know, bringing that crown all the way up to the top does save weight. A clean viewer address highlights the advanced laser alignment feature that allows for precision of aim. I believe that is that white line there. The Qi10 fairways are packed full of proven Taylormade technology such as through slot speed pocket. There you go. I mean, that's been in Taylormade for years and years and years, ever since they didn't steal the idea. You know, they brought that sort of speed pocket idea from Adams Golf when they brought it years and years and years ago. Taylormade's flexible speed pocket design is engineered to maximize ball speeds and produce additional forgiveness on low face strikes, and it does work. It's proven to work. And a lot of other brands now have the similar things, but they obviously don't call it a speed pocket still. Yeah, speed pocket. Twist face uses corrective face angles designed to overcome inherent golf tendencies on mishits and to produce even straighter shots. So yeah, so you got the twist face there. I did to keep that ball a little bit straight. I don't know how I feel about twist face because, you know, I did play the Stealth 2 driver. So in the fairway woods and the hybrid, no problem with it at all. But the Stealth 2 driver, you know, I tend to push the ball out and then fade it back in. And yeah, I'm not too sure about twist face personally for the bigger clubs. For these type of clubs, they work really well, but they can cause some issues from some people. So do be aware of it. Some people might not necessarily get on with twist face. Coming in as standard, you had the Ventus TR shaft. You know, Ventus shafts, I love them. They are great. Going into the specifications, you could get this from 3 all the way to a 9 wood. So, you know, 3 wood, 15 degrees. You had a 3 high launcher, which is 16.5 degrees. Probably more suited for me with my close stance and tack angle. 5 wood, 18 degrees. 7 wood, 21 degrees. And a 9, 24 degrees. You could only get the left hand in 3, 5, and 7. Obviously, as with all fairway woods, you know, the CC does shift and does become a little bit smaller as you go through the club. So, you know, 3 and the 3 high launcher, biggest volume, 195 cc. With the idea, you know, you're going to be using it off the tee, so maybe a driver replacement. And then the 5 wood, 175 cc, same as the 7 wood, and the 99 is 160 cc. You know, because those ones you're most likely going to be hitting off the deck. So a little bit smaller size just to help make it a little bit easier. As I mentioned, you know, you've got carbon crown on the top there. And yeah, it's just a good looking club. You know, really happy with the Ventus shaft and with that head cover as well. And you've got that V steel technology on the bottom there as well, which is supposed to help with sort of gliding it through, well, you know, supposedly gliding it through the turf, you know, and interaction with the ground and everything. So it is a good looking fairway wood. But Taylormade have been making great looking fairway woods for years now. But anyway, let's get down to the range now. I'm going to throw some figures at you, and then we're going to come back here for the ACS golf scale. All right, see you in a bit.
So here I'm down at the range with the 3 wood. Now for me, 3 wood anywhere near sort of total distance, 230 yards, you know, be really happy with. Obviously, this is winter, so I'm not fully expecting it to get that far because I'm not swinging as quickly, and obviously everything's a little bit colder. Now, with this club, on average, I had 198 yards, carry 225 yards total distance, ball speed 137 miles per hour, launch angle 12, and height 54 feet. So to be honest, really happy with those results. To get that in winter, very happy. Managed to even get it over 230 yard at one point and get a ball speed 140 miles per hour. So, really, really pleased with it. One thing I'll say, quite easy to launch this club, get that ball up in the air as well, which for me, with my stance and the way I hit the ball, I tend not to be able to do so well. So generally, 12 degrees launch angle, really happy with that. And there's a couple around there, 14. Feel-wise, felt really solid. Consistency wise, very consistent. A lot of the same ball flights there with those sort of towering draws. So overall, just really solid performance with good forgiveness figures on the table for you. So solid average performance there, 198 yards carry, 225 yards total distance. Really nice ball speed as well, 137 miles per hour. Longest, really happy with that, 200 yards carry, 232 yards total distance, and that whacking ball speed, 140 miles per hour. If I had a little bit better launch, then that thing would have gone even further. So very happy with that. Shortest on the day, 191 yards, carry, 222 yards total distance, and a ball speed 135 miles per hour with a launch angle of 14 degrees. Obviously just caught that a little bit off the top of the club, I feel, which really did launch it in the air, but overall not a bad result at all.
So there you go. Some really good figures with this club, as I would expect. Taylormade has been at the top when it comes to fairway woods or woods in general for years now, especially when it comes down to distance. Maybe not the most forgiving, that'd probably be down the ping line, but definitely up there for distance, and exactly what I got with this, especially the fact that I'm even testing this in winter. On average 198 yards carry, 225 yards total distance, ball speed 137 miles per hour, launch angle 12, height 54. For me, that's good for, it really is really good for a 3-wood. With my closed stance, the way I attack the ball, I do struggle to hit up in the air. So normally I would be playing a 16.5 degree head, or maybe lofting it up if it had a loft sleeve to maybe 17 degrees. So the idea more of a forward really works for me. But this still worked great, did get that ball up in the air, even with my attack, a 12 degree launch angle, and I got a few up to 14 as well, 14, 13. It does help get that ball up in the air. Longest on the day, which is 232 yards, total distance, and the ball speed 140 miles per hour. Can't complain at that. I take that every day of the week, especially the fact that, as mentioned, this is winter. It is a long fairway wood, which you would expect. So there you go. So now getting into those figures. So remember, an ACS golf scale, we've got distance, looks, feel, price, and forgiveness. 5 being the best, 1 being the worst. Now, I keep on changing with distance. I keep on changing from 4.5 to 4, from 4 to 4.5 out of 5. It's never going to be 5 because it's not, the Qi10 Tour. It's not mini drivers that I put in this category. It's not some of these, 3-wood pluses, etc. All these other big chunkier clubs, which are definitely going to give you more distance. But I'm going to have to give it 4.5 out of 5. I have to. With these results, I really do. It is a rocket. Even though it's a standard model, and I know the Tour get even more, I might even put the Tour, to be fair, if I get one of them and test it, in the same bracket as this. Obviously the Tour would be at the top end of the 4.5 if we were going to do a subscale of that. But it is, I can't give it 4. With those results in winter, even though, like I mentioned, I would normally expect 230 in normal scenarios in the summer, in winter to get near that 230, and I know if I was able to loft this up, I'd even max out even more distance with it. It's really, really good. Just say about the shaft, by the way, which I did forget to mention, it's a mid-launch and mid-spin shaft. So I just thought you guys might want to know that. But yeah, just going back to that, really happy. So I have given it 4.5 out of 5. I feel like on another day I might have given it a 4 out of 5, but it's just really been performed, and I'm really impressed by it. So that's why I've given it that. It is a monster in my mind. Anyway, feel 4 out of 5. I enjoy the feel of it. Nothing horrendous. Not the nicest fairway wood I've ever felt. That normally goes to Mizuno's, to the Titleists. But 4 out of 5. Felt solid, felt powerful. Could relatively tell where my miss hits were. So yeah, solid. Looks. So looks, I've given this a 4 out of 5. Head cover would be a 5 out of 5. But 4 out of 5, I love the shape of it. It's very traditional fairway wood shape. I love some details. We have the Qi10 on the back, as I mentioned, and also you've got that white mark there to align it, and the label there as well. As I mentioned, not a huge fan of these Affinity crowns. I know they've done it to save weight, so that's one reason. And I like the sole of it. It's definitely grown on me, but for me, I preferred the older Stealth 2 and the Stealth version. We had that sort of V on the bottom of it. It just looks a little bit higgledy-piggledy there, to be honest. We sort of looks like you got the V and then they'd sort of gone over the top of it. So not a huge fan of the bottom of it. But yeah, so 4 out of 5. It is still a very good looking fairway. And I know a lot of guys would love the look of this. So yes. On to forgiveness, 4 out of 5. As I mentioned, this is in the middle, so it's not the tour, it's not the max. This is really the all-rounder, and it definitely showed that with forgiveness. 4 out of 5. Shortest on the day, was 222, so 222 yards. Not horrendous hits, but that's when I managed to actually get the ball up in the air a little bit more. Ball speed again was only 135. Forgiveness-wise, it was pretty good. There's a few I did hit near the bottom of it, and they did recover well. So, 4 out of 5 for forgiveness. If you're missing it all over the face, you will get punished, but then, majority of fairwoods, you will be like that unless you get those maximum forgiveness ones. And even then, if you're missing it so badly, you will get punished. But it was consistent as well. Consistent shots. There's nothing that sort of shot out that way or shot out left. Really consistent as well. And that's another thing that I look for when it comes down to forgiveness. It's the consistency of that ball flight. And it was really consistent. So yeah, 4 out of 5. Really happy with it. Now, price. So price, if you're looking at this brand new at the moment, you can buy it for £239. I've seen in the UK. I've seen it in the US for $300. I swear you must be able to find it cheaper in the US than $300, I think. But at the moment, $300. Golf Bidder, which is a second-hand store over here at the moment, it's £180 starting, which is around $229. I definitely think that's going to drop. Definitely when the Qi35 comes out, when it's actually in the shops. But at the moment, it's still a little bit high. eBay, it ranges. I've seen a 3-wood go for £190, which is around $240, all the way down to a 5-wood going for £115, which is about $140. So there is a range there. They sort of average is probably around the £150 mark. So maybe just under $200. They seem to be around that point. Really, if you get them around that price, you're going to be relatively happy. But it's still not the cheapest, and I'll explain in a second why I think that. So price, I've given it 3 out of 5. Not bad, pretty much where I'd expect it to be. Not exactly potentially a bargain, not a 4 or a 5, so 3 out of 5. But if you want to go and get a brand new fairway, go and get yourself fitted, then yes, this is perfect because you can go to store and you can get yourself fitted for it before the new Qi35 comes out. And believe me, the difference between this and the Qi35, apart from looks, performance-wise, for your average golfer, you're not going to notice. You get fitted for it, great. If you go get fitted for the Qi35, maybe a week later, maybe get you 1 yard. If they get you 1 yard, I doubt it. But they are going to be very similar because technology has not moved on. I say every video that I do has not moved on for years because they can't, because of regulations that stop them from doing so. That's why with fairway woods, you can go old, and that's what I'm about to say to you about this club if you're thinking of getting it. So if I compare this to the Stealth 2, and we go for the ACS Golf scale for the Stealth 2. So distance, I gave this 4.5, and as I mentioned, it could have been a 4, but I just felt on the day it was definitely up there. Stealth 2, I gave a 4. The Stealth 2, I was testing a 5-wood though, so, and I definitely feel, if I put a 3-wood in my hand, there wouldn't be that much difference in it. And like I said, with this, it could have been a 4 on another day. So I would take that as a pinch of salt between the two, generally would. Feel, both given 4s. Stealth 2, I've given it looks. I've given Stealth 2 a 4.5 out of 5. What a Qi10 only 4. Price, they're older clubs, not going to compare that. And then forgiveness, they've both got a 4. So yes, technically on paper for me, the Qi10 has won it with distance. But I think if I got a fairway wood of the Stealth 2 in a 3-wood, exactly same venture shafts, I definitely think they're going to be pretty much exactly the same. It's just going to come down to me being at a handicap of which one I hit better at the time, and that will be it. You know, you put it in the hands of robots, you're not going to see that much difference at all. And this is why I think that yes, this is a bargain. And I mentioned at the beginning of the video, I was going to say something at the end, but I think you could go all the way back to, I think you could probably go back to Taylormade M2. You know, if you get the M2, you're going to maybe be a little bit shorter, but then if you're definitely going for the Sim will just be as rocket as this. 100% the Sim is. It's an amazing fairway wood. Sim 2, again, the same. The Stealth, again. Stealth 2, again. So you don't need to get this. It is an amazing fairway wood. It really is, as you'd expect from Taylormade. It's the Qi35 that's about to come out. I'm sure it will be an amazing fairway wood from Taylormade. But they've been doing amazing fairway woods for years. And as an average golfer, you're not going to notice the difference, apart from the looks. So for me, if someone says, all right, do you want the Qi10 for £200, or do you want the Stealth 2 and save yourself 50 quid? I'll go Stealth 2. I think the Stealth 2 looked lovely. Didn't have the Infinity Crown. You know, I thought it performed really great as well, and I personally would have gone for the Stealth 2, save myself 50 quid, and go and buy some balls I'm about to lose on the golf course. You know, you don't need to go Brian New to buy this. Even though this is an amazing fairway wood, I'm not going to take it away from this club at all. So there you go. There's my conclusion. Qi10, is it a very good fairway wood? Is it one of the best sort of all-rounders out there? Definitely. Do I think you should buy this over a couple of years old? It's Taylormade. You know, I did say the M2, but let's be honest, probably go from the Sim upwards. No, I think if you get the Sim, you're just going to be just as happy as if you got this with a little bit more change in your pocket. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed this ACS golf review. As I mentioned before, you know, if you're new to the channel or you're not, if you've been watching this before and you haven't subscribed yet, do hit that subscription button, bell icon, so you do not miss out on weekly ACS golf reviews. Remember as well to give this video a like if you enjoyed it, and also comment down below if you played Taylormade woods over the years. You know, if you have been playing FA woods and you have changed from year to year, let me know your thoughts. You know, do you see suddenly a big jump up in sort of distance? Do you see a big jump up in forgiveness? I'd really like to know your thoughts, because personally, from testing, you know, I've tested quite a few Taylormade fairways over the years now. I just don't see a huge amount of difference. I really don't. All right, guys, I say that. If someone gave me Qi35 and said, do you want to put that in the bag? I'd say definitely yes, just because of the looks of it. If you've seen that Qi35, oh, it looks amazing. But anyway, moving on. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you soon for the next ACS golf review. All right, see you then. Bye-bye.